70-year-old Narendra Dabholkar was killed by motorcyclists in Pune last morning. Investigators called it a very meticulously planned attack. Dabholkar, a very well-known activist against superstition, had been on the hate list of many right-wing groups who didn't like the fact that he was campaigning for an anti-superstition legislation. In fact, the last threat that Dabholkar reportedly got was from a right-wing group saying, "Remember Gandhi? Remember what we did to him?" On agenda tonight, we have both sides of the story, the rationalists and the Hindu group that was against Dabholkar but has now condemned his murder. We'll find out why the two worlds clash the way they do. Our audience here is also divided on the faith versus science issue. And guiding them are our experts who join us on the show. First of all, we have Amol Palekar, actor and director and someone who was closely associated with Dabholkar's work. We also have Abhay Vartak. He is the spokesperson of Sanatan Sanstha. And in studio, we have Amitabh Pandey and Raghu Kalra. They're rationalists and they're of the Astronomer Association who held a press conference in Delhi today condemning the killing of Dabholkar. Now, before we go to our pundits, let's just take a look at how the story has turned, how now 2 decades that Dabholkar spent fighting for that legislation has finally been made and cleared by Maharashtra today.
It took the death of this man for the Maharashtra government to finally act. A day after renowned rationalist Dr. Narendra Dabholkar, who spent 30 years fighting superstition and black magic, was shot dead in Pune, today the Maharashtra cabinet cleared the draft of the anti-superstition and black magic bill to turn it into an ordinance.
महाराष्ट्र शासन ने आज जो बिल पास किया है, इसका शासन का स्वागत करते हैं. देर आए दुरुस्त है, लेकिन शासन से मेरा ये सवाल है कि और कितनी शहादत शासन चाहेगा.
A first in the country, the ordinance, originally drafted by Dr. Dabholkar, demanded criminal action against exploitation by godmen through black magic and voodoo, claims of possessing supernatural powers, claims of people that they are incarnations of gods, ban on offering ash, talisman, charms, etc. for exorcism, among others. Right-wing groups who opposed the senior activist denied any involvement in his murder.
If Maharashtra government is passing an ordinance, there are legal ways to challenge it, we will be doing it. First thing. Second thing is that our objection to the law remains.
गांधी जी की आवाज जिस तरह से बंद की गई, उसी तरह से डॉक्टर नरेंद्र दाभोलकर का विचार, उनके विचारों की ताकत, जो ताकतें नहीं सहन कर सकी, उन ताकतों ने उनकी निगृण हत्या की है.
For nearly 2 decades, Maharashtra's politicians debated the anti-superstition and black magic bill, never really having the guts to pass it in the face of raging opposition. Also afraid that it would expose their hypocrisy, because these are the same politicians that run to the first Baba or Godman every time their interests are threatened. With Imtiaz Jalil in Pune, Miloni Bhatt for NDTV.
That just brings us to our first talking point this evening. Who's responsible for Dabholkar's death? Obviously, the police don't have that many clues, but we're also asking who were the people who were targeting him. If I can just take that to Amol Palekar, as someone who knew him, who knew of his work, who would you blame for his killing?
No, I am not going to get into this blame game and all this jargon which is being thrown. What is important, I think, is for us to understand that a person like Narendra Dabholkar, who believed in eradicating superstition, who went through a dialogue through all people who wanted to oppose him, all this has been done in a most dignified and most beautiful manner that it can be done in a democratic process. When this person stood for such a dialogue, why should such a man be assassinated, that too from behind, not even from front, I think speaks of lots of things, and person like me gets agitated and anguished by those mindsets that people who are not ready for a dialogue,
Yes.
people who are not ready to listen to reasoning, people who refuse to see a rational thinking, the only way they can stop this voice is what happened to Dr. Narendra Dabholkar, and which is very disturbing, that in a society which we call to be educated, cultured and tolerant, where is the education part of it? Where is the cultural
A
part
vast
of it?
virus
And
database
where is
has
the
been
tolerance?
updated.
If you can't accept somebody else's thought or somebody else's standpoint, does that mean that you go and muzzle his voice?
Yes.
Is that what is called tolerance? This is what is very disturbing to a person like me today, and quickly I will try and recollect this, that such a thing happening in a city like Pune, which is considered to be the educational city, which is considered to be a cultural capital of Maharashtra. In that city, not in so many years back, but very recently, attack was made on Bhandarkar Institute
Yes.
for similar reasons, and the entire institute was ransacked. Now such trends and such things happening so soon, so frequently, is something which puts a person like me in a great anguish.